The impact of COVID-19 to the tourism industry in Malaysia. COVID-19 first reported in China in December 2019 until it spread all over the world. The pandemic has a significant influence on the tourism industry in Malaysia, in particular on airline company and hotel firms. Because of this, all countries experiencing declining economic and tourism industry around the world most affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I want to focus on Malaysia, the impact of this COVID-19 on the tourism industry in this country. Due to this COVID-19, the Visit Malaysia 2020 campaign has been affected, where it did not reach the target as expected. This is because 50% of tourists who enter Malaysia come from Singapore and China. From what I have read from the three sources I obtained, the Thai tourism sector is also affected due to COVID-19 because the average tourist who visit Thailand is a resident of China, same as Malaysia. Also, traders in Bangkok commercial district have observed a decrease in the number of customers. Key attractions such as the Grand Palace, Wat Po, Satron Unique Tower, and the Meklong Railway Markets, initially filled with tourists, are deserted now. Some of the consequences of this COVID-19 pandemic is that the hospitality industry in Malaysia is badly impacted. After the ban, several hotels have been fighting to survive. It can be said that Malaysia will lose at least 60% of its tourism industry by 2020, said Yap Lit Seng, Chief Executive Officer of the Malaysian Hotel Association. As a result, wage cuts and unused leave must be met. However, smaller hotels cannot afford to pay their employees a salary until they are laid off and hotel closure. In addition, cancellation of travel package also caused tour guides to lose their job. This also caused the cancellation of booking for accommodations, rentals car, and so on until it can harm on the sector involved. The tourism policy or planning strategies that Malaysia should do in order to prepare for a similar situation to COVID-19 in the future. First, the Malaysian government should tighten the law on the entry of tourists into Malaysia, such tighten the entry requirements for Malaysia. For example, visitors should have a health document of their travels. This means that they should check their health in their home country before entering Malaysia. After that, every company should plan ahead for their employees, making an initial agreement if this happens again. They have to make a voluntary agreement on the conditions that they receive either a reduced or no salary increase within a few years. This is to prevent many instances of employment occurring, especially for travel company. Next, if it is a disease that can spread, it is obligatory for the government to once again implement a lockdown, but this time more strictly. If anyone disobeys, there will be a fine or high amount of money and jails or both. Also, the government or NGO should cooperate in providing assistance, either financially or in the form of donations such as foods to the people. Moreover, the government should build a special place or hospitals to be used as a treatment center for people who are infected. If recurrence, there is no mixing between normals and special patients. Lastly, private NGO should cooperate in terms of assistance for quarantine center. For example, their hotel offer their hotel as quarantine center. The personal experience of the students during the Movement Control Order (MCO). After the university announced that all learning activity could not be carried out, then my friends and I decided to return to our respective hometown, and after that, I made the purchase of KTM ticket to Selangor and on 18 March. Therefore, on the night of 17 March, we got a news that anyone who wanted to return the hometown should have permission from the nearest police. And my friends and I went straight to the Changlun's police stations that night. At the time, many students and residents at the Changlun police station, so we had to line up long to wait for the turn. As a result, we managed to get permission from the police. On March 18th, my friends and I boarded KTM at 7 a.m. from Kedah to Selangor. At the time, the social distancing SOP has not been implemented. To be honest, I was afraid to sit close to the public. Luckily, at the time, everything went smoothly. On the way to Selangor, I made the purchase of flight ticket to return to Sabah on 23 March. It's because cheap flight ticket on that day. The remaining stay while waiting for the flight date, I stayed at my friends and our family's house in Sepang. However, on March 19, there was news that flights were not allowed. At the time, there was a feeling of fear and sadness because the flight ticket was cancelled and could not return to the hometown. Because of this, I had to stay at my friend's house for a longer period of time while waiting for the airline to announce when they would start operations. After that, a few weeks later, the airline started their operations. However, it was not the same as usual schedules. Only on certain days and flights are only done twice a day. Due to limited flight tickets are so expensive that it costs Rm 1,500 to 2,000 for flights to and from the airport. This causes me to hold on because the ticket price was too expensive out of my budget. After a long wait, I made another ticket purchase on May 19, and the flight was not cancelled this time. My experience with this MCO, I had to stay in my friend's house and her family for over a month. Finally, on 9 May, I left for Sabah, and while at the airport, we were instructed to wait for a health check before returning to our homes, and we were allowed to quarantine at our respective home for 15 days. That's all. Thank you.
Krisis virus novel ini telah menjejaskan jumlah ketibaan pelancong dari China telah turun dengan drastis.